Reds family, welcome back to the Liberal 12th Man Show. Hopefully you can hear me, actually. I always get this thing up. Yeah, you can hear me. So hopefully you can hear me because I'm coming loud direct because we are going to say already to a bad start on some of my predictions for my picks on these games. But it's all good. Benfica is up 2-0. Looks like they're going to be pulling out the win in Holland over Ajax. But what is depressing or somewhat depressing, or at least disappointing to see, is that a USG team was able to go to Galatasaray and get a win today. And or at least looks like it's about to get a win today. They're nearing the 90th minute of that game, up 1-0 in that game. So, yeah, just another punch in the gut, I guess you could say, when it comes to that. I had Galatasaray winning that game, but doesn't look like they're going to help me out with any of my, or at least with the start. I had Benfica winning, but I also had Galatasaray winning. So that is what it is. Excuse me. So we are going to be doing a preview today. This game on paper looks pretty simple. Liverpool at Anfield should be enough to warrant a W. But Champions League under the lights adds a little bit of spice to it. So, okay, still, we should be able to get another win, get a win still all the same. Dutch opponent, Dutch opposition we've historically dominated against. We should get, that sounds like win all the way through. This is Liverpool football this season, and nothing is guaranteed. So despite me saying that I believe that this should be a guaranteed W for us. But then again, like I said, nothing, and I mean nothing about this Liverpool side right now is simple. So we're sitting in 11th place in the Premier League. We've just faced back-to-back league games where we've lost 3-0. We've been outrun, outfought, and I mean outfought at Anfield in front of our fans by Nottingham Forest. Words like crisis and mess, as our captain claimed that we were at the moment, aren't clickbait. That's the reality of it all. And that's scary. That's very scary. And yet in Europe, 3 points off a Champions League place. That's true. Red Armchair supporter bringing in some positive news. I got you. Big up to Ross. It's something. It's like, and yet it's Europe is different. 3 wins from 4. We sit in the sweet spot. 8th in the overall league phase, well on track for the knockout phase. Excuse me. And with the possibility of sealing our path to the last 18 with a victory today. Somewhat sealing the path towards a victory today. We probably need one or two more, at least 1 or 2 more results beyond this. But tonight's show is about this. What version of Liverpool going to show up against PSV? Is Anfield's European aura enough to cover up the cracks? And is this Champions League run our lifeline, or a mask hiding deeper in issues? Liverpool versus PSV, match day 5. Let's get into this preview. Hopefully everyone is well and good out there. Let's just say it clearly. Nottingham Forest game was a disgrace. You thought 3-0 at the Etihad was rock bottom. Well, guess again. We've now lost 6 out of our first 12 league games. We've shipped 3 goals in back-to-back league fixtures for the first time since 1965. Dropped into the bottom half of the table as defending champions. And it's not one problem, it's everywhere. I want to make sure that I emphasize, excuse me, that the fact that this isn't on one player this season. There's no scapegoating one player and saying, "Oh, if it wasn't just for this player, we'd be doing well or we'd be doing better." Scapegoat FC has become just that, a team collective. And when you look at the team, there are some positives and there are some negatives. Let's be honest. Excuse me. Big up Hashin Farsi. Hashin Farsi. Big up. I already have my prediction being that we will win the Champions League this year. That trophy should be coming home with us. That might be the only trophy that we win this season, to be honest with you. And what I mean by that also is because, again, it's about getting the Champions League is, I'm not saying it's an easier trophy to win, because it's certainly not the competition. The level of competition that you're going to face is going to be extremely, extremely high, and it gets increasingly more difficult as you go on deeper into the tournament. But it's about clicking at the right time. It's about finding that gel. It's about finding that groove. And I'm hoping that we can do that similar to what we saw PSG do against us. They started to find their form, and then they were sitting miserably in the table for the Champions League in the beginning of the Champions League run. And then they finally found what they needed to do. They exiled some players and put together a different frame of bringing about their scheme on the pitch, and all of a sudden they clicked. And I've been saying this time and time again. I believe that this team has been orchestrated or configured to win Champions League first. And that sounds, I know people don't like to hear that. I know when I've said it before, people have come back at me with sometimes some harsh words. But I'm just speaking my own truth, and my own truth is I believe that Champions League, we are set up to win Champions League. With the players that we have, they're set up more to play in Europe than they are to play in the Premier League. And I honestly do hope that our coach gets the memo. He's gotten one memo already from this channel, but I'm hoping he gets another memo about orchestrating our team to be run through Florian Wirtz. I think Flo could be the difference in bringing us a Champions League, and I honestly think that Flo could be the player that brings us a Champions League. But let's be honest, when you look at this team, it's not just one problem. It's everywhere. It's at the back. Alisson is back, and I'm so happy to see him back, but he still has a little bit of rust on him. Even he can't bail us out of constant chaos at the moment. Virgil is still fighting. Big up to our captain. I think I'm one of the few people out there that still believe in his leadership and still believe in the fact that he is a top-tier center half, despite people saying he's fallen off a cliff. I believe that he's won duels this season, and he's been trying to encourage our players to higher levels. It just hasn't been the case. And then we all know about the tirade that he went on in the locker room. Because if you're not angry, I don't know who should be. That's basically what he said. I tweaked it down to a G level. Kanate looks distracted. Contract talks, form gone, confidence shot. Smiling when he's getting called off the pitch in a 3-0 lead, 3-0 game. Big up Norm, by the way. Big up Norm. Kirkes looks like the shirt weighs 50 kilos on him right now. Trent-shaped hole that is our right back position might as well be a black hole with the way this team collapses and is sucked into this black hole that is the abyss. We're forced to play midfielders as our right back's choice, sometimes as our first selection at right back. Because in midfield, Szoboszlai, arguably our best player of the season, player that I said would be our best player of the season preseason, has been forced to plug gaps at right back. That rips the heart out of our midfield and leaves us far too easy to play through. And then you go on to McAllister. He's trying to do 3 jobs at once. And I know some people have been very critical of McAllister, some rightfully so, by the way. But I still think that McAllister is a talented player. I don't think he's done. I don't think that he has nothing left to offer. I think McAllister will find his form. And I think McAllister is an exceptional player. Gravenberg. He's getting dragged into defensive zones instead of driving forward, which is sometimes something that we don't really want to see a DM do, or some people don't want to see a DM do. I know we have a hybrid of a DM. Some people still don't think he can play the role. Some people never thought he should be in the role, but he is. Salah, the guy who finished 4th in the Ballon d'Or, but should have been 1st, in my opinion, looks like a ghost of himself. Florian Wirtz, the player I just spoke on, isn't going to possibly be available for tomorrow. I'm hoping that he is, but then again, I don't want to see him play in this game, to be honest with you. And the reason why I'm saying I don't want to see him play in this game is because he was iffy with the muscle injury. I don't want to chance compounding that injury when we have enough in this team to get us over the line against PSV at home without Florian Wirtz in the lineup. But he still hasn't found his feet in English football. We know that, but this isn't English football. This is Europe. Isak, oh my goodness. Shout out to my brothers at Kopish. I think it was somewhat nice to hear Cal say some of the things that we had talked about on his show. Whenever he did those call-ins, I used to try to call in as often as I could. And I would converse with him. Obviously, I'm a big Nunez fan, I'm a big Jota fan, big Lucho fan. And when I would converse with them, I would always say they would always be so critical of our strikers last year. And I would always say to him, it wouldn't matter if we had Haaland as our striker, who arguably is the best striker in the world. Our offense or our system is not orchestrated to feed our strikers the way other systems are. We are a wing dominant system. So therefore, we got 20 plus goals from our left wing, and we got 20 plus goals from our right wing. That's exceptional. And people complained and moaned about our production from the middle. And I'm like, you got to recognize the intangibles that those players are creating in the middle that are making it opportunities for our wingers to score. But Isak's arrival was supposed to be something different. Right now, it's doing more harm than good, if you ask me right now. There's no rhythm. There's no duels won. There's no partnership with Ekitike, which I still want to see more of. I still want to see a real partnership of Ekitike and Isak up front. This is why I have a bunch of episodes I need to start churning out. But this is why I've been emphasizing this. And you guys know it. The people, the OGs of the channel know what I've been shouting for time now. but that is 2 strikers up front. And not only do I want 2 strikers up front, I'm going to be as bold as to say that maybe we do not need to go and get a winger in the January window, possibly not even in the summer. I would like to emphasize that, because I think that if we go to a 4-4-2, we wouldn't need wingers in those retributes. But you put all this together, and what do you get? You get a title defense. You get basically a title defense that's gone. Unless we witness some type of miracle, which can happen. I saw an incredible statistic. I posted on my X account about how there's only been 4 teams ever to have won the Premier League after the run that we've had. Top 4 is a dogfight right now, though. Champions League qualification next season is even a real fight for us. Champions League qualification next season may depend on winning the Champions League this season. That's how peak it is right now. That's how quickly the floor has fallen out. And then there's Europe. In the Champions League, I said it again, I'll say it again, we've won 3 out of 4. We sit 8th in the league phase and have a realistic path to the last 16 already lined up in front of us. And Anfield in Europe has still felt different. And I'm hoping it can bring up that energy, and I'm hoping that we can keep that aura and that vibe and that buzz present, not only by the fans, because the fans do their best, but our players on the pitch have to give them reason to stand up. 16 straight wins at Europe, or excuse me, 16 straight wins at home in group or league phase games we've had this year. 13 straight Champions League group stage wins at Anfield. Dutch visitors, when we've had them at Anfield, we've beaten them. We've bullied them. We've made Anfield an unhospitable place to be. So Wednesday is the clash of 2 truths: the Liverpool in crisis domestically, and the Liverpool who still looks like a European force. And which is going to stand up? That's the biggest question, because PSV arrived right at the intersection of these 2 realities. These 2 realities. All right, my friends. Let's get into who are PSV under their coach Peter Bosz, and why they're dangerous. Let's give PSV their respect, and that's what I will do, because this isn't a plucky underdog story. This is the defending Eredivisie champion, top of the league again, 34 points from 13, 6 clear of Feyenoord, 52 goals in 18 matches in all competitions, and 21 of those in the last 6. In the Champions League, they lost 3-1 to USG. They on a match day 1, which was a shock to some, but considering USG just won today, I think they won. I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah. Let me double check. Let me refresh my little feed here. I think they won. It's not much of a shock now, because USG is actually half decent. Then they drew 1-1 with Bayern Leverkusen. They smashed Napoli. They absolutely, I don't know what's up with Napoli, but they absolutely destroyed Napoli 6-2 in Holland. in Eindhoven. And then they draw 1-1 in Greece to Olympiakos. That's 9 goals scored, 7 conceded. And this team, under their coach, has this philosophy of all or nothing. Like they play with open games. They are going to try to go out there and get it to go good. Who's PSV's? I'm going to bring up that in a second, Red Armchair Supporter. I do have a little section where I'll bring up the main matchups to keep your eye on. But it all depends on that's a really good question. It all depends on like who you're looking at as being the player that can really unlock something for them. But the one difference about PSV is that unlike PSV is doing well in league form right now. They're rocking and rolling in league form. However, in Champions League, they sit 18th. That's 18th out of the 24 that get to qualify. And that's what gets you into the playoff round. But they are not safe. Marseille, Juventus, Athletic Club, USG, who just won today, all hovering. USG isn't hovering anymore. They're hovering above them. But all those teams were hovering just behind them on 3 points. PSV know if they get battered at Anfield, they're right back in the pack. Big up Marquet, by the way. Big up Marquet. So what do they bring? What does PSV bring? Because I actually do like. I've become more involved with trying to watch a little bit more of Holland or Dutch football. So I actually do like some of the Dutch players, and there are Dutch players that play for the U.S. men's national team that play there are players that play in the Dutch league that are Americans. So I do watch some of their games, and they so happen to play for PSV. But so what do they bring? PSV brings high tempo. They bring aggressive attack. They bring fluid movement behind the lines. They have a willingness to risk it in possession, which could be high risk, high reward. Gus Till has become their makeshift number 9 with Ricardo Pepi has been battling some injuries here and there throughout the season. 5 goals and assists in his last 5 games. He's had 10 goal contributions in the Eredivisie, led by Sabari, and just behind Veerman at 11. Sabari, excuse me. Sabari often is the source of their creativity behind the lines, if you want to call it that. But Veerman is the conductor of the midfield, I believe. He leads them in assists in Europe. He is an absolute definite threat when it comes to creating opportunities for them. Keep your eye on that player. And then I always got to give out a shout to my U.S. men's national team player. Big up Ricardo Pepi in the Champions League. He is their marksman. He's got 3 goals in his last 4 UCL games, including 1 against us last season. Now, historically, PSV have only won 1 of their last 14 games versus English clubs in Europe. Against Liverpool specifically, 7 meetings, 5 of them Liverpool wins, 1 draw, and obviously our loss to PSV last season. All of Liverpool's wins have included us shutting them down at Anfield. I don't want to see anything different tomorrow. But it is different because this isn't the same Liverpool. They know it. Teams can smell the blood in the or see or taste or smell the blood in the water. I don't know how you phrase it. We're vulnerable. Our confidence is shot. Our defense looks fragile from set pieces and transitions, something that is so disappointing and frustrating to see. And our aura, you talk about aura, that is a wobble at its best. And the PSV coach is going to have that dressing room focused in on that. They won't be coming here to enjoy the occasion. They'll be coming here thinking, this is the weakest, most fragile version of Liverpool we've ever seen. Let's go finish the job and get these 3 points. I'm sure that they think probably that they could do more than Nottingham Forest could do. And that's why it is kind of frightening. Norm is saying, I've always felt when our team struggles like we are now, we should play a 5 in the midfield and protect the back 4 and say, right, we are not giving anything away and slowly work on our form from that. It's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout at all. Big up Lee Wiskett, by the way. Big up. But yeah, it's not a bad shout. So I don't know if this game is going to be a testament of what we'll do in the league going forward. We have a good game in this. Does that mean that we're going to win on the weekend? I can't even say that. It doesn't hurt, obviously. No, winning never hurts. But let's talk team news and let's talk about the chessboard, which is, navigating injuries and the likes. Obviously, Leone is a long-term. Frimpong is still injured. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm hoping that he will be back by December. Connor Bradley still out. The right back situation is, I would call it a joke, but it's not funny. We've had Szoboszlai, our most informed midfielder, parked back here, just a plug. Just to plug the gaps. Every time, what happens when we do put Dom in that spot? Every time, what happens? Our midfield loses its legs. Does it loses some of his bite? The way that Norm is talking about trying to solidify our midfield. Our most informed midfielder parked back there just to plug gaps, and our midfield loses its legs. Our press loses its bite, and we become an easier team to play through. So for this game, for me, it's simple. If Joe Gomez is fit enough to start, you play him. And I would even go as far as, if Joe Gomez is fit to start, you not only play him at either right back or you play him at right center half. And you let Ramsey play right back. People are going to probably say that's bold to bring in a player, of that kind of experience on a big game in Europe and the likes and everything else and blah, 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 blah. But I believe Anfield will have his back. And this is just the place and condition that we're at right now. I don't want to see Szoboszlai play in right back. Our coach tried not to give away if he was going to do that or not in the press conference. He spoke on that in the press conference. He didn't exactly give a ringing endorsement that he wouldn't do that in the press conference. He didn't even give a ringing endorsement that he would even play Gomez. But that's a real big question. I'm really questioning what we're going to do with and when Kirkaz is going to be able to factor in and be a real resource for us. Not saying he's never going to be. I'm not saying that he doesn't have the potential to be. I believe that he does all of those things. But on the left, this cannot be another, let's see if Kirkaz figures it out experiment. You started Kirkaz last game. Robbo should start this game. We need stability, leadership, and someone who actually understands what big European nights at Anfield demand. Robbo, step up. Further, we go further up the pitch. Florian Wirtz, I know, is touch and go, even if he makes the bench. I doubt Slot risks 90 for him, and I doubt, seriously doubt, and hope that this coach isn't going to play him when you have other options that you could do. Maybe because we saw, I believe by seeing Cody this weekend, maybe it means that Cody's going to start left wing, and we'll see a midfield where Dom plays at 10. So what do I expect up front? Again, I expect Slot one big call. I am emphasizing this guy has to put Ekitike in. Ekitike has to play for Isak. I know Isak has to find form. He has to get fitness. He has to get all these different things. But guess what? That can't be to the extent of this team. That can't be to the expense of this team. Because we have lost all of that flexibility, all of that leverage that we had in trying to get them to that stage. That's all gone now. Cody on the left against his former club has to happen. Ekitike up front has to happen. Salah, I'm cool with Salah being on the right. He's got to be hunting that milestone. He's going to be looking for a big performance. Of course, he's going to be looking for something to happen. Put in the chat, if you will, your starting 11s. I have my starting 11 as being Ali. I wanted to be Ramsey and Gomez, but I know he's not going to start both of them. So I have Ali, I have Gomez, I have Ibu, I have Virgil, I have Robbo. That's the five. That's the Fab Five in our back line. Then I have Dominic Szoboszlai, Gravenberg, McAllister. I know some might want to bring in Cujo, but I have McAllister starting. And then up front, I'm going to go with Salah, I'm going to go with Cody, and then I'm going to go with Hugo in the middle. I just think Konate probably will certainly start. This is a huge night for him. Contract talks, poor form, questions about focus. This is a game where he either answers some doubts or he either pours fuel on the fire. Because there have been a lot of people that have been sticking up for Ibu and fighting back against those of us that have been very critical of his game. Virgil could hit his 150th game this season for the club. He and Szoboszlai have played every minute of this Champions League campaign. They're the ever-presence. They're the players that will certainly start. Our coach even said in the press conference that he's going to start one way or another. He didn't want to tell us where he's going to start him, but he said he was going to start him. And I mentioned earlier, it's touch and go. He's questionable. The real R2F. And when talking about Florian Wirtz. But what I was going to say is, I mentioned earlier about Salah. Salah could hit not just 50 Champions League goals, but also another milestone he could hit is he would become only the fourth player to reach 90 European appearances for Liverpool. This is going to be a big game for him. And I do think that this is going to be a game that we get a goal out of Mohamed Salah, who has been a little bit on the scoring drought. For PSV, it's much more straightforward. No fresh injuries for the NAC Breda win. Sidelined is Ruben van Bommel and Alisson Plea. You have Kovar. You have another U.S. men's national team player, Dest. You have Gassier Roski. You have Schouten. You have Salah Edin, as their goalkeeper, and then their back four. You have Junior. You have Veerman. You'll have Mann. You'll have Saibari, who I spoke on earlier. Perisic, and then you'll probably have Till start as their number 9. I ask the question to the chat. Who should start up front for you? Who should start up front for you? Are we still to a place where some are saying that Chiesa should start for Mo? Maybe our coach should do some tough love to Mohamed Salah and start Chiesa on the right. Some of you saying, I don't think you start Rio. Cody starts. I think Cody's the most assured start out of all three, if not close. He's a close second, at least to Salah, most likely. Lee Wizkid saying Cody, Ekitike, Chiesa. Okay. Okay. It's a real good question, though. A real good question, because Dest is going to bomb forward on from the right back. He's a very talented player, able to get assists, able to score on his own, able to be he's a good dribbler of the ball as well, able to push forward, got some quickness. Veeman will try to decide the tempo in midfield. Till, Sabari, and company will look to drag our back line around and find gaps between Konate and the fullbacks. They will not sit and just wait. This is going to be a very, very energetic and very open game that's going to test our mettle when it comes to holding a real defensive-minded presence in our midfield, and especially in that back line. They will not sit back. They will try to go punch for punch. And that's what I'm looking forward to in this game. So that's going to bring us to what are the tactical keys? Control versus chaos, set pieces, and big moments. Oh my, right? Shout out to Alexander. Big up, Alexander. My Red. How you doing, my brother? This game is going to come down to 4 things. 4 things. Who controls the tempo? Is key one. PSV on their boss want broken rhythm, rapid transitions, space between our lines, time for Veerman to pick passes. Like I said, he's a maestro of that. Chaos around our area. We cannot let this become one of those end-to-end matches. Some 5-4 Bundesliga type game. Or ever Divise game, I guess you could say too. Liverpool need to have longer spells of control possession. That I agree. I think we'll have. We need to have clear pressing triggers, not half pressing. We need to have compact distances between our lines. We need to drag PSV's block around and tire them out. If this becomes a track meet, their confidence play plus our fragility is a dangerous mix. I'd say second would be Salah's reaction. And what I mean by Salah's reaction is the fact he's going for milestones today, or tomorrow, I should say, is the fact that he's going to be having a lot of eyes always on him, but especially in this game. Mo Salah has gone 3 games without a goal. He has struggled to dribble past players. I think he has in the league at least. I think he is in the top 5 for players to be dispossessed, unsuccessful dribbles. He looked like a player carrying the weight of the world, and sometimes it doesn't get any easier when it's Anfield under the lights. But I know this man. You know this man. We know what happens when he gets written off. This is a European night. This is at Anfield, a milestone in reach. In a game where his side, our Reds, are wounded. If ever there was a Salah statement night, it is tomorrow night. An assist, a goal, a big performance, him tracking back, making some defensive effort. We don't just need the numbers from Salah. I've been stressing this all season. We need the spark. Third, and probably number 1 too, but third, I do not want to see. Ooh, God, took my breath away there. I do not want to see set pieces be our Achilles heel. We're living in the set piece era. The Premier League has become set piece FC and company. We've conceded 9 set piece goals already this season in the league. Our structure has been poor or more inconsistent. Our marking is inconsistent. I don't know what we're doing when it comes to the consistency of plan and being able to really do something with what we're doing. We're supposed to be doing man marking with Virgil and Konate being the only 2 that do zonal marking. But our consistency has been just that, inconsistent. And second balls lost is something that they are definitely trying to allow for us to have. Manchester United, despite what everyone says, oh, they outplayed us, they didn't necessarily outplay us. But they did play their game. And that was allow us to. They knew they weren't going to contend with us in duels, so we won duels, but they were first to every second ball, almost every second ball, obviously. When PSV have height in Till, they have height in Gasarakowski, they have height in Schutten, they have good delivery men in Veerman. We must be switched on from corners and wide free kicks, no exceptions. There has to be some taking of pride that we will shut down corners and set pieces. Own the second ball zones around the box. Use Virgil and Konate as aerial supremacists and take that aerial ability as an advantage, not just as a fire blanket. Has to be done. And on the other hand, this has to be a night where we threaten from our set pieces. We saw us be lethal against Frankfurt. Virgil, Konate, Cody providing great crosses. We need that again. We need to see whoever's doing the deliveries, whether it's Cody, whether it's Mohamed Salah, whether it's Robbo, whether it's Dom. We need some accurate deliveries for our men in the middle of the box. And if the football gods are kind, maybe this is the night Virgil scores that 500th European goal at Anfield. Obviously not his 500th goal, but it would be LFC's 500th European goal at Anfield. Last but not least, I'm going to say fourth spot for me, Cody, Agent Cody. This is your old club. Cody knows PSV inside and out, 159 games, 55 goals, developed into their star before coming here. These nights can go two ways. Either the emotion gets to you, or you use that emotion to fuel something special. We need the second one. We need the second one. And then there's also, I'll sneak this one in, there's the Isak Ekitike decision. If our coach puts Isak into this game, we're going to have some words. The only way I want to see Isak in this game is if we're playing Isak and Ekitike together. If you decide to play Ekitike, you decide to play Isak over Ekitike, having seen what we got out of Isak the last game, it is a no-brainer. You will be setting yourself up for criticism. He dipped and dodged the questions. There weren't really that many really biting questions for him to answer in some of the selections that he made from last game. I think he kind of twisted the truth here or there about some of the things, but he knows better than us. He says something about Gomez needing a shot in his knee. Obviously, that's not good news. But Isak is out of form, short on confidence, losing duels, snatching at moments. And this is something that, again, I spoke about Coppers earlier, and this is something that it's difficult sometimes. This channel is a little bit different. We have a smaller OG style chat, so we can engage. You can engage with me a little bit more and get responses from me. It's not easy sometimes to get responses to things that the hosts of these channels say when they're live and when they're talking. And it's interesting because I know that there's I hear the defense, the Konate Defense League. I've heard the Isak Defense League now. And it's always the Isak Defense League and the Nunez Offensive, which is very interesting. But I've always said that the one thing that I really did appreciate from Nunez is the heart. The amount of you didn't really question if he was going to go out there and give his all for the badge. Now, I'm not saying Isak doesn't have that quality. But what I am saying is, if you're not going to, same thing I've been saying to Salah, if you're not going to be scoring the goals, you've got to do the intangibles. You've got to do those things that don't necessarily come up in the stat books, aren't going to be on the highlight reels. But you have to do those things, like making the dummy runs, tracking back, pressing, and being an engine. That has to happen. Because Ekitike looks sharper, more purposeful, and more in tune with the current version of this team. And we need to see that from Isak as well. And don't get it twisted. Ekitike's got to step his game up too. I think he's had one in the last 6 league games. I think he's had 1 goal in the last 6 games. there's times when you can see the player is pressed. He wants to do something. He wants to get involved. He's getting desperate for touches to be able to create something. And that's where, once that happens, that's when the offense looks a little bit janky. That's where it can look pretty janky quick. Newcastle is up 1-0 so far, and at Marseille. So if Liverpool gets scored on first tomorrow, hypothetically, do you think we're in for a what has become a usual result, which could be a draw or a loss, or not even a draw, because we haven't drawn anyone, a loss? I hope that we don't end up going and getting into a situation where we have to have a comeback, because I've seen that our team has dropped their heads once we get scored on. Getting scored on early is not going to be the move. Excuse me. It is not going to be the move at all. All right. Let's get into some fun talk. All right. Let's get into some fun talk. Because I know we said you already know my situation or my preference. I'm starting Ekitike. I wouldn't rule this out. Ekitike works for, I think Ekitike will get 60, 65 minutes tomorrow. Isak comes off the bench with fresher legs, hopefully, maybe an opportunity for a team that's really pressing for a goal against a stretched out game, and finally gets the goal that settles him in a bit. I'm hoping that could be the actual reality of it. At least that's how I'm hoping that scenario can play out for tomorrow. But again, let's get into some fun section here. And what I mean by fun section is, let's get into what is going to be our predictions for tomorrow. What is going to be on our predictions? Please include what you think. You can put what your heart says, and then you can put what your head says, what your mind's telling you. Hopefully your mind's not telling you, your mind's telling you no, but your body's telling you yes or something. I don't know. But what's your final score prediction? And who do you think scores tomorrow? Who do you think scores the first goal? Who do you think scores first for us? Who do you think opens up the party for us? I'm hoping that we score tomorrow. If we score first, there's a higher likelihood that we win this game. The Opta computer says that it's supposed to be a 2-1 victory to Liverpool with a strong home record, strong history versus Dutch opponents, like I spoke earlier, expectations of a reaction. On paper, it makes sense, but we've never lost to PSV at Anfield. We've won 5 of the 7 games versus them overall. We've gone 9 unbeaten versus Dutch side at home. But form isn't paper. No, I don't think that is. The song I'm quoting is a singer that we don't need to bring up his name, because he's a canceled artist. But his songs are still good. Anyhow, form is what we've watched for weeks, in the league. We got a leggy, nervous side. We have a team that collapses after conceding first. We have players who look unsure, disconnected, mentally tired. So here's where my head and my heart clash. and this is what I mean by it. My head and my heart clash here. My head says this could easily be another chaotic 2-2 or even a 3-2. PSV sucker punch if we didn't respect their attack and keep gifting big chances. That's right, you heard me. A Desmond or maybe even a 3-2 PSV win. But my heart says maybe the Anfield factor does something for us. Maybe that inspired, I don't call it a meltdown, but that inspired tongue lashing by our captain does something. We scrape it. Ugly, chaotic, not convincing, but we scrape a win. That's so sad that I have to say it like that, but that's the state we're in. So I'm going to go with my heart, and I'm going to say Liverpool 3, PSV 2. I see Red Armchair supporters said 3-1. The real R2Fs thinks that we're going to lose 1-0. Lee Wizkid thinks it's going to be 3-1 to us. 3-1's a good shout too. That's a good shout. I am backing Cody Gakpo to score against his former club. It's kind of like poetic, it's kind of football romantic style there. I'm going to say my wild card is either Ekitike from the start or Isak off the bench. Nicks one in a game that feels more like survival more than dominance. Oh man, that third goal, huh? Who's gonna get the party started for us? That's the big question. Who's gonna get the party started for us? I'm trying to think of I'm thinking of who I had earlier. I think VVD gets the party started for us, but I do think Salah is going to score. Now I know that's 4 people that I just mentioned, if not 5. So I gotta hunker in on someone because I can't call all those people to score and then try to take credit for it. So let's go with Roger Van Dijk off a set piece. Let's see. I think he's going to rise to score a set piece in front of the cop. I'm going to go with Asian Cody to get an assist. I'm going to ease off with the goal. He's going to get an assist. So he'll get the assist to Virgil. And then I'll go Isak off the bench. And I'm going to go Mohamed Salah as the second goal. So I have Virgil van Dijk getting our first. Score a set piece for our first goal. On PS side, I can absolutely see Till arriving late in the box and giving a pain in the neck goal that makes it tighter than we need it to be. And I'm going to go with Ricardo Pepi. Again, finding space on the shoulder and making a goal for them. But again, here's the bigger picture, people. Again, the game is about more than just 3 points in the league phase. It's about whether this team can still respond under pressure, whether Slot can learn that he needs to definitely step up and show some confidence. Don't show cowardice. Make some tough decisions. I'm not talking about gambling and playing players out of position, but I'm saying making some tough decisions with some players that need to see the pine. This is whether Slot can lean on his European record to buy some time and calm things down. Whether Anfield under the lights can still feel like Anfield, or whether the cracks in the league have finally started to bleed into Europe. And if that's the case, this season is a wrap. If we win, we're almost certainly punching our ticket for the last 16. Slot gets a little bit of breathing space. Maybe I get a little bit more running time with my Champions League prediction. And the players get at least a small reminder that they can win big matches, because this is a big match. If we lose, the pressure goes from bad to unbearable to just flat out hang your head in disgust. The narrative fully flips from wobble to meltdown, probably for a lot of people. It's already in meltdown stages for some. The Champions League stops being our refuge and starts becoming another spotlight on our flaws. Either way, we'll be here after it, brothers and sisters. My Reds, we'll be here after the game. We'll be here always supporting our team, breaking it down, praising whoever deserves praise, calling out whatever needs to be called out, because we don't sugarcoat anything on this channel. We're direct. We are respectful. We definitely do our best to get some real adult discourse, not the childish, sometimes, screaming over each other, talking over each other to where it's just noise that you sometimes get on other channels. This is the Liberal 12th Man Show, and you're a very big part of it because you're the 12th man of this team just as much as I am. And I definitely appreciate the fact that you guys show love by tuning in. So I'm going to ask, if you haven't already in the chat, please do drop your scoreline in the comments. Tell me, do you still trust Anfield? Do you still trust Anfield? Norm, I know you're still out there possibly. Do you still trust Anfield in Europe? Do you think that Anfield can be enough to get us over the line in Europe? Who would you start up front? Isak or Ekitike? Or Isak and Ekitike? And this is about survival. Or is this where the fight back begins? Whatever happens on Wednesday night, we walk this together. We walk through this storm together. I can't emphasize that enough. And then sometimes it's easy to forget that when you're going up in some of these other engagements that you have with other Red fans, whether it's in person or on the internet or in your group chats. But we need to start reinforcing the culture. We need to start reinforcing the culture of this club. Making it where we feel like we are together, that we do walk together and not alone. And with OGs like yourself in the chat, I do feel that love. I do feel that strength. And I do feel that energy, that vibe. And I do appreciate that. And I'm hoping that you continue, despite all the noise and everything else, we can be some type of beacons out there for bringing it back center, bring it back to those basics. Shout out to KJ, by the way. Big up KJ. If you haven't subscribed to KJ's channel, you need to. Definitely. KJ's doing big things. I see him. He's on esteemed panels and everything else, representing us truly. It's what I like to see. I like to see that immensely, because it's important to have people like KJ or Lee or JK, JP, Nalante, Brian, all these different voices out there that really do, I think, more accurately represent a lot of what we as fans feel are more of the idea of Liverpool. So again, we have like about a few minutes. 5 minutes over the time I was going to be doing for today. But is there any questions in the chat? If there anything you guys want to bring up real quick? Other than that, I mean, we're coming up on, I believe we're coming up on halftime in a lot of these games. Coming up on halftime in a lot of these games. Jeez. Juventus is down 1-0 to, or excuse me, yeah, Juventus is down 1-0 to Bodo Glimt. Napoli is stuck 0-0 against Karabakh. Newcastle is up 1-0 still. Going. These games are all a little bit shy of halftime. They're up 1-0 at Marseille. 0-0 in the Bilbao game. 1-0 Chelsea on top of Barcelona. That doesn't really matter. I had Barcelona in that game. Dortmund is 0-0 against Villarreal, and that's where we're at. So not many goals being scored so far. Oh, and Leverkusen is up 1-0 against Manchester City, by the way, at City. So that's probably the game I'm going to watch. Is that City game? Who else is the game? Tell me who's the game too. By the way, what game you guys got? Are you guys watching? By the way, unique thing about the coverage that I have here is that I can watch 4 games at once, which is pretty cool. So I'm probably going to put on. Let's see, what game am I going to watch? I'll probably have the Dortmund game on because I just love watching Dortmund at home. I'll watch Chelsea, Barcelona. The City game, and I don't know, maybe that Marseille game. I don't know. It's a good question. I know. Lee Wiskett has no interest in other games. I watch other games because I like to watch our competitions to see other teams and what they have to represent. You know, that way you have an idea. You have to do some scouting a little bit, for myself at least. To each is their own. But for myself, the reason why I watch other games is because I just love football in general. But I also like to watch other games to see what other team, what are maybe some good players that you don't get to see, maybe don't know about, maybe get the opportunity to see who your opposition, the other teams are going to be once you get to face them later on in the competition, or if you have a game against them later on in the group stages. Lee Wiskett saying he tries to, but he gets bored. Yeah. I understand that. Leverkusen because of Agent Kwanzaa. Yes, that's right, Red Armchair supporter. Maybe a future Red in Kwanzaa. I mean, again, that game is going to be interesting. Leverkusen is an interesting watch. Kwanzaa's playing well. He's playing, getting call-ups for England right now. He's even got it where he could possibly be taking the role, but the spot that Trent Alexander-Arnold has on the team, it's wild. Who would have thunk it? But yeah, I'll probably watch those games. Probably if I have to. I don't have to put 4 games on, but maybe I'll watch that Marseille game. I'll probably be the 4th game. I actually want to watch. I'll watch the Napoli game. Can't believe Napoli is just an interest. I don't know what is up with these Italian teams. You just can't call it when it comes to a lot of their games. You don't know what's going on with it. But all right, my people. Looks like KJ saying, do you think Salah is being scapegoated? I don't think Salah is being. I wouldn't go as far as to say Salah is being scapegoated, because this is something I will say, KJ, and you can tell me what you think of this opinion at least. You know how vocal I am about Virgil van Dijk. I've been very combative when it comes to dismissing the idea that he's not being a good leader. But I also have put it out there, or at least this has been my stance, is that who else from this team are you hearing from? So often when you would hear, we've got this council of leaders, we've got all these leaders on this team, and we've got all the, we've got this leadership group. So often after the games, sometimes, even if it wasn't the player of the game, sometimes there were players like Ali would go out to talk to the media, or maybe you have Robbo, or you have Trent, last year at least. I don't remember the last time I've seen Salah in front of a camera. Salah is one of our undoubtedly, I know, one of our most important leaders on this team. So I don't know if I'm going to go as far as to be scapegoating him, but I would like to see him step up. I would like to see him, if he's not going. I have no issue with not scoring goals. That's going to sound weird, but I don't have an issue with Salah not scoring goals. Salah isn't a vocal leader, though, but Salah is someone that is one of the most spotlighted players on our teams. And this is why it was interesting, because I heard people telling me that Salah should be our captain. And Salah's not a vocal leader. Why would you suggest Salah be? Salah might be one of our best players, if not the best player on this team, for some people. But if he is not a vocal leader, why would you suggest him to be our captain? Not you, KJ. And I'm not speaking to you, KJ. I'm just saying to those that wanted Salah to be our captain, or even our vice captain. I think that I would just like to see. I would just like to see him. I would like to see him be able to get more involved in leading by example. I emphasize this again. I emphasize this to Cal. Hopefully, he saw that. I know he sees my statements. He doesn't always respond to them on live, because it might divert him from the script that they have, or what they're trying to get into. And sometimes when you do get to back and forth with the chat, you kind of get on a tangent that you can't get back from. But I emphasize the fact of one of the things I loved about, whether it was Jota, whether it was Nunez, whether it was Diaz, whether it's with Chiesa now, they're players that, even when they don't have that scoring boot, they're still putting in the work. Now, I'm not saying that he's not working, but I would like to see Salah making the efforts of saying, okay, I know I'm not going to be able to take on these defenders. I'm not going to be able to do this or do that, but I'm going to track back and I'm going to help out on defense. I'm not going to shred off my man to someone else and say, you take that man, and end up watching that guy go off and get a goal. So I don't think I would scapegoat Salah, but I just would like to see Salah do more of those intangibles. I'd like to see Salah become more of an assist. Look, he was a top assist getter last year, but I would just love to see him get a little bit more of. I would love to see him get more involved in being a facilitator. I'll ask you this. Oh wait, hold on. We might have. This is special. Let me see if I can get this over to KJ. Let me see 1 second. Let me see if I can get this over to all right. He might have he's not a guest because he's part of the family, but we might be able to bring in KJ to hear what he has to say. Big up. Got the streets. The streets have arrived, by the way. Big up to the streets. What is it saying? This is asking 12th. Would you drop Salah and play Hugo and Isak up front tomorrow? Absolutely. That's not a hesitation. But I understand that would take some, that would be a monumental, no, Tracy's not going to come, not joining us on the panel. That would be a monumental thing to do for player selection, because if that was the case, it would mean that you would most likely have to drop Mohamed Salah. Most likely have to drop Mohamed Salah. I'm at the point where we're not going to see this tomorrow, but how about this? I'm going to bring up let me see if I can bring up a something for you guys to mull over real quick. Let me see if I can bring up this. Let me see. This is just me thinking outside the box here a little bit. Let me bring up this. Blah, blah. If I can find it. All right, got it. And then bring it there, bring it there, bring this in, bring this in. All right, this is what I am going to show. While we wait, I put that in the we might have KJ joining us shortly. I think he might be getting set up possibly. I put that in the chat, in our group chat, the link. But all right, they got in 4-3-3. But I'm going to do like this. I'm going to see what you guys think about this real quick. And this is just thinking outside the box before anyone starts to go. You put something out there and people go crazy over it. I'm not trying to go crazy. Whoops. All right. Who else would I put in there? Give me 1 second. I'm going to make sure this is correct. Oh, I just heard the doorbell ring. Big up KJ.
Big up, Salah.
Our number 7 with us. What is good?
Yeah, what I wanted to say about the Salah thing, is I totally get and understand that he's in poor form. But at the same time, the same criticism Salah's getting, I think we need to give the same amount to Gakpo then, if that's the case. Because the only difference between the two is the fact that Gakpo's GA is pretty much kind of covered over everything else. And I wouldn't say it's covered it over, because to be fair, people have called out Gakpo, but not as much as Mo, because they're using his GA as a barometer to say he's been better than Mo. But in all honesty, he's been just as bad, if not worse.
Okay. Wow, everybody's chiming in. Got JK too. Big up.
Easy,
You got
bro.
JK.
Best KJ. What you saying, bro? Long time no see, man.
I know, man. I know. You good?
All good, bro. All good. Hope you are as well.
Yeah,
we got the man in the mirror, because it's KJ and JK.
JK.
Get it? Little man in the mirror there. All right. Shout out to MJ. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm not trying to. I wouldn't go as far as to say that. What my statement earlier in this episode was, I'm not going to say that any player deserves to be scapegoated. I think this whole team has underperformed.
Yeah,
and I would go as far as to say that, like, I know Dom gets a lot of praise, and he's sometimes rightfully should, and everything. But Dom is getting praised because he's working his tail off.
Yeah.
Trying to cover up some of the other cracks and other I wouldn't say incapabilities that we have on the pitch, but some of the fragility spots that we have where players aren't showing that extra oomph that it takes to kind of like get things done. That extra urgency, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. And I think that's the difference maker. Last year we had players that would never allow for that level to dip. It's the reason why I think Virgil went into that locker room and got in people's faces and said, how can you not be angry?
I agree, because I'd say bar Nunes and Diaz, I'd say Trent not really, because he's not really gonna work the way he should work, and he showed in terms of like the United game last season. But like this year, like there's a clear, I don't know if it's just me, but I've picked up on this all season, and it's like every time we've not necessarily played a high press, but implemented it within our game against the oppositions this season, i.e. your Atletico Madrids, your Evertons, your Villas, your Frankfurts, even though Frankfurt we did a high press but in a totally different formation. And Madrid, like each of those games, even the players' body languages are different. You could tell they're up for it, they're refreshed, they want to play the game. But in the rest of the games, even the games we was winning at the start of the season, I just don't think they're enjoying this slow, sluggish, total football, slow build up. And in all honesty, it's we're actually telegraphing passing lanes and spaces for opposition to play in rather than us exploiting them. They're exploiting us, and it's when we're on the ball that's what makes it worse.
I agree with I think the dedication to the counter press has been somewhat slack. But I can tell you this because I've played on a team like this during my collegiate years. I played on a team like this, and there's been times when you'll be on a team where you're on a team of quote unquote superstars in a sense. You're a team of super talent. You're on this team that's got all this praise, all these, all the headlines have been about how great these players are and the likes. And maybe they've even gotten the accolades from before, right? And it's sometimes you're like, the best thing I can say is like the LA Lakers from when they had Gary Payton, Karl Malone. I know it's an NBA reference, but it's like this case where like you could have these players that are so good, but sometimes there's the gelling of it isn't able to happen because rather than do the intangibles, rather than have those people that bring the lunch pail to work type situation, your Hendersons, your Elliots, people like that. Because you don't have those people on the pitch, because you don't have those people that can do that extra work for you. Now, all of a sudden, you're asking superstars to do that work that have never been asked to do that work. Mohamed Salah's told he can cheat in a sense. He doesn't have to track back. Mane did when he played with us. Mane was one of his most endearing qualities that people refer to and reference. His ability to track back, his ability to play defense on that left side. I'm not saying Salah can't play defense because he can, but putting that part into, but making a assertion and making that a part of your game, sometimes it doesn't click. It's like you can't just turn it on and off when you want to. It's got to be engaged the entire game, and I think that's what I'm missing. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I understand that, and I'm not directing this directly at you, Toff. I'm just saying it in general. The issue that I find with it is, how can you allow someone like Mo Salah last season to then have the freedom of not tracking back and then take all of that away from him this season, and then not only take him out of being a narrow right forward, but now you've got him as a touchline winger. I was looking at some of the first half passing stats from the Forest game, and as much as we used Salah a high percentage of time, if you saw where everyone else was on the pitch, everyone was on the left hand side. Salah's got no one to link up with, no one at all. His nearest player is the right back. And more times than not, that was Jones in the Forest game. Like, what are we actually expecting Salah to do when he's not being put in a position of strength? And then we can't really take that away from Salah when he was given license to cheat last season. So we should be giving him more freedom like that. And if we're not going to give him more freedom like that, then I have no problem. Certain games, we rest Mo, bring on start Chiesa or something like that. And I'm fine with that. That's where Mo can get his rest. That's where Slot can implement a bit more of his tactics when Mo's not in the team. But to really expect Mo to go back to, to really expect Mo to do what a 25-year-old Mo would be doing, let's just say, that alone is blasphemous. Like, how can you, like I said, just letting him cheat and then taking it all away from him the season after what he produced as well. And I'm not Mo's biggest defender or nothing like that. Furthermore, this season's the only season I've actually been defending Mo more than anything. Normally, it's me on the opposite side of the Mo spectrum. Genuinely. Like, when Mane was here, I was always Mane over Salah. Always. But, so yeah, I'm not trying to come from a position of like defending Mo, because like I says, this season is the one season where I've actually flipped and I'm defending Mo. And yeah, he's been out of form, he's been poor, but everyone else has. And this is why I don't even necessarily put it down to the players. The players are all in poor form, but it can't be a coincidence that the whole squad is in poor form. It don't matter who comes in, who goes out, who starts, who comes off the bench. Everybody's in poor form. Szoboszlai.
I get what you're saying. But again, if you don't have a Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right, like there have been things that have been either not. Again, I'm not blaming this all on Slot, but I'm also not allowing for the players to have a pass either. And what I am saying is, I'm not saying that there's one player in particular that should be scapegoated. I don't think that Mohamed Salah should be scapegoated. I don't think the reason why we're not playing well or why we're performing poorly is all correlated towards Mohamed Salah and his performances. But what I am saying is that, like, I know for myself, if I don't, I was a goalkeeper, so it wasn't more of like scoring goals and stuff. But, you know, for other sports, I'll just make it a reference. Like if I was playing basketball or something like that, like even if I couldn't shoot the ball that day, I am going to play defense. I am going to find a way to contribute. And if Mohamed Salah isn't going to be able to contribute by getting us goals, which was one of the major attributes that he brought, if he's not going to be able to contribute by giving us assists, another major attribute that we got from him, if he's not going to be able to bring those aspects out, find another route towards contribution. Otherwise, put someone else that will. That's where I'm at right now.
I totally agree with everything you just said there. And just to add to that, that's why I'd say, well, looking at the Forest game, why is everybody on the left-hand side of the pitch then? If we're going to play through Mo, then why are we not giving him no one to actually link up with and create and make little triangles with?
Well, that's different. Yeah, that's a completely different story. Yeah, that's on the coach, I think, because that's something that he's got to like, you know, get that in.
And that's where I see it. Yeah, like players are in poor form, but I think the poor form has stemmed from how we've been set up. The only thing that hasn't changed this season is how we play out from the back. Everything else from the midfield onwards is pretty much what Slot's implemented from January this calendar year.
Yep. I think that I'm hoping, and big up JK, by the way, like I'm hoping that we could do, like, on the channel, you've heard myself especially, but Nalante more so than even myself, trying to get Gomez into a role for this team. I don't care if it was going to be left back for that matter. I didn't really care. I just wanted to see Gomez bring about some defensive capabilities for this team, but also be able to bring about something of a stabilizer for our back line, because there was no real fluidity behind it. And if our coach, what? Let me see.
I just dropped it in the group if you wanted to put it on screen for the chat or anything.
Okay.
In terms of what I was on about from the first half.
I'll bring it up. I'll say. Let me get the. Let me save it for us. All right.
And
Bless up, brother.
that's not just the Forest game, by the way. That's been a recurring pattern throughout most of this season, those positions.
All right, let me bring this up.
And
too.
Mo being isolated far right.
Mhm. I'll ask you this then. I'll bring up your picture or your graphic. Let's see if I can find it. This is the graphic you shared with us. I'll make it large here. This is showing. So explain to the people what this is showing.
So basically, this is showing obviously who we was passing to, where we was passing, and basically like the value of the passes means how often the passes are actually made to that person and whether that person actually receives it as a completed pass, basically. So the point I want to make in terms of this graphic, more than anything, is where Salah's positioned and where everyone, and that massive gap where everyone else is. Because that's not just a Forest game issue. That was going on when we was winning in the first 5 and everyone was saying Mo was playing poor.
Okay.
Like Cody is, to be fair, I'd say since the international break, we have kind of switched back to Mo being our main chance creator. But prior to that, our main chance creation was coming down the left-hand side and Mo was still all the way over there like that. And the same could be said for Verts in a few games. I'll get the rest of the graphics for a future show, and obviously I'll explain it more properly. But like I says, it's not even a me defending Mo thing. It's a team thing that really I want to get to, because the team are clearly instructed to play this way, and that's my issue.
That's
all of the players are not poor, because you could clearly tell with. So let's just say everybody that's been scapegoat so far: Kirkes, Gakpo, Konate, Salah, McAllister. Where Kirkes is on the inside, he should be overlapping. There's no way, like, he should be playing as an inside centre back or inverted left back, especially when he's not really good on the ball. Not that he can't play on the ball, but that's not his thing. He wants to be high flying, going down the left hand side, linking up with Gakpo or McAllister with overlaps, and then playing cutbacks across the box or getting in the box himself. I'd say pretty much the same with Frimpong, but obviously Frimpong's out right now. So Szoboszlai, who's been our best midfielder, should have been kept in the midfield, because yeah, McAllister in the 10. For everyone that said he was a 10, I hope his recent performances in the 10 have shown everyone that he's an 8. He's a progressive 8. He's a regista. He's good on the ball. He can play line breaking passes through the 8, but he's not same way he's not a 6 is the same way he's not a 10. Not in our system anyway. He don't have the legs for it. He's a bystander in there.
But doesn't, if anything, if you're looking at this passing, this is something, again, this goes back to my conversation I was talking about that I had with Cal.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. I agree already.
All those, where are all these passes going to? You know, how come none of the passes are to inside the box?
Pass to on the left-hand side.
Not only that, but I mean, like, there's
we didn't play one to Isak. Not one.
There's not one pass to our center forward.
Yep. But that's been like that since day one with Slot. He didn't have to play with the number 9.
Yep. Remember, JK, we were saying this last season with Nunes?
Yep. And Nunes did what he could, because he knew he ain't going to get the ball, so he had to get it himself.
That's what I try to emphasize.
Nunes made the chances for himself. We was all saying this.
That's why
we was all saying this.
I'm like, you can get Isak, you can get all these great players. The score is great, but if you're not going to feed the striker, what's the big deal of having a player that can't get food?
Facts.
Yeah.
Nunes, Jota, they made chances on their own a lot of times. They created their own opportunities. Even if you want to go even one step further, look at the goals that Ekitike has scored this season.
Yeah, he's pretty much created them himself.
He's pretty much created those chances by coming back and back to the ball, creating opportunities on his own. They're not through balls into a running player into the channel or something like that. That's why I can't. I for all those people are like, oh, it'll be different settings. It'll be different settings once we have Isak and da 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 da. No, it'll be different settings once we have a different system that focuses our attentions towards our forwards instead of our wingers. Let me ask you this. So I know let me bring this to the stage here. I'll take this down. This is why I wanted to if you saw this lineup tomorrow, would you be mad?
No,
JK?
I wouldn't.
Okay, KJ, you're not?
Have a look.
No, I mean, I still prefer 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. However, I'm always 4 at the back. I don't want 3 at the back football. So I'm actually willing, last season, I even said, why not try Salah in a 10 for this year coming? So
Yeah.
I'm all for trying that. I don't mind that.
If Salah can't take on fullbacks, I'm just saying for now, for what we've seen, and people are starting to say, oh, he can't take on a fullback, he can't make runs, he's getting dispossessed from the ball. If he can't take on fullbacks the way that we'd like to see him do, and I know there will be some, he's never played the 10, or he has played the 10 once or twice.
17-18 season, yeah, we did.
So
yeah, we did.
So
and he'd interlink with Bobby.
Yep. So for all those people that say he didn't, right? But if that's the case, if he can't do those things that we're talking about, that we want him to do, or what he relied on so much in previous seasons, let's lighten the load. Let's make him more of a let's give him the ability to be a creator in that 10 role. And again, I'm not asking for him to do the work that Dominic Szoboszlai does. By having Dominic Szoboszlai next to him right there, and having Jones, or maybe having like a Gravenberch in that role, and then you have an Endo maybe in that DM role, they can do the work for Salah. They can help, and bring about some type of relief for him when it comes to trying to not have him be exhausted. It's horrible to have to say that a player has to be, compensated by other players so that he doesn't have to do all the running. But just the case, I don't think this is a bad lineup, to be honest with you. Is there someone that you want to move around, or is there a different formation that you want to see? This is a formation I want to see.
I'll try that, bro. Like the way we are right now in that position in the league, I'm ready to play Slot up top. You know what I mean? I'm ready to try anything. And that's the beauty. You know why I'm not worrying is because when you look at the wealth of players we have in that team, there's so many formations you can try out. I'll be rubbing my hands every day going into training thinking, what can I conjure up with these lot today? So
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean, bro? It's you could play so many formations, and that right there, I'll try that. Salah, beyond them two, why not?
Yep. And you would basically be creating a triangle that deals with Isak, Salah, Dom, or Ekitike, Salah, Jones. But you could also, obviously Jones can get involved. You could do something, and like maybe if you wanted to keep the pivot. Oh, that's over here actually. Let's see if I can get this. If you wanted to keep the pivot, I know some people want to keep the pivot. Actually, I bring the graph on the side. If you want to keep the pivot, what would be the formation you'd like to go with? This is more like a 4-2-2 that I would like. The reason why I maybe even think of the 4-2-2 is because then once we're without the ball, I'd like to see these players press up and become a 4-4-2. I know that looks like a lot of space. It wouldn't be that much space, but to be a 4-4-2 on account to try to like initiate a counter press action. We've played the 4-2-4, before. But what is it? Is there another formation you guys want to try?
Yeah, 4-3-3.
All right, let me put the 4-3-3.
I'd have Endo at the base.
Okay, let me bring these players in.
And then I'd have Szoboszlai and Grav. Obviously, on paper, it looks like that, but you could have it staggered where Grav's a little bit closer to Endo, but he's still able to be pretty much a box-to-box. And when I mean box-to-box, I don't necessarily mean like how Klopp used him as a box-to-box, but I mean more like in the Jones role as a register or a ball retainer, because Grav is good at retaining the ball as well. I actually think he's our second best midfielder at ball retention behind Jones. So that's why I got no problem with using Grav as a left 8, and then your right 8 is Szoboszlai, and give him the license. If he wants to push and press, he's got that. If you want him to cover Salah, you've got that. If you want him to be a typical box to box in terms of up and down all the way, you know he's gonna do that anyway.
I think there's no. We'll definitely see Cody tomorrow, but is this the front three you want in your 4-3-3?
It's the only one that I'd start Chiesa, but Slot don't want to start Chiesa. Because I've heard a lot of talk, oh, he's not fit, he's this, he's that. When was the last... The thing is, I heard a question the other day. When was the last time Freddy played a 90 minutes? And I was like, are people forgetting Southampton?
Yeah.
So I get people's point in terms of Slot won't give him a 90, but Slot gave him a 90 in a wasteful game. And Freddy still impacted that game. And I get that it was only Southampton, but Southampton was Premier League opposition last year.
Yeah.
Southampton almost got a result from us last year.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear excuses about it with Southampton because they weren't no Grimsby Town. So respectfully.
Respectfully, yeah. Go there. Go there or something. All right. Is this what you want to see? Is this something closer to what you want to see?
Oh no, I would still start Salah. I'd put Chiesa left wing.
Oh, you put Chiesa left wing.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though Cody's playing against his old team.
Well, we did that last season and we lost. Okay. I mean, I know it was a fully rotated squad, so I get it. It was a dead rubber in it.
Yeah.
But we already gave him his homecoming. It don't really matter this time because he had it the first time.
The real R2 app is saying he's playing Cody on left, drop Salah and Hugo, Isak up top, do a flat 4-4-2, and play Hugo, Isak up top, and drop Salah. I've been saying that. I before we go, real quick, I put a controversial take out into the interwebs, you know, and that was, I know that we were talking about going with Semenyo, right, and or maybe even going with Elise. Elise, different story. Elise is an incredible talent, but I put it out there that maybe, and just tell me how you guys feel about it, maybe we should not go for a winger at all. Maybe we should phase out the wingers that we have. Maybe even, you know, who knows, if we end up, if we need to get the money, if we need to like acquire money, we could buy Bayern Munich or other teams are very well interested in Cody. If we're going to go to a 4-4-2, or if we were to go to a 4-4-2, could we possibly not phase out our wingers in the sense of allow for Cody to go, or allow for Cody to be sold, allow for Mohamed Salah possibly be sold next season, acquire a boatload of cash for that, and then focus on our midfield, our defender, and maybe bringing in another, I think I would go for Alvarez from Atletico Madrid to be that platoon player that you could rotate in with Ekitike and Isak and be able to provide a lot of the assists and false nine, shadow striker role of a front two.
It's not a bad or wild shout, but the problem is who's your typical right and left midfielder in the market today? That's not a wide forward or an actual winger, or not a what's it called again? A right wing back or left wing back. Like who's an actual who can genuinely play right midfield and left midfield. I'm not saying there's no players out there. I just, because the position has been phased out and nobody really plays a left midfielder, it's like, who's your Damien Duff? Who's your Joe Cole? Who's even your David Beckham then? Because I got no problem. If we had Trent, I'd have said, yeah, Trent a right midfielder, Bob's your uncle. But without no Trent, like, I don't know who's a sufficient right midfielder or left midfielder.
So wait, you're not
would you use Kirkes then? Is that what you're saying, 12? Would you use Kirkes and Frimpong?
So in a 4-4-2,
I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in a 4-4-2, what I'm trying to emphasize here, what I'm trying to emphasize is, let's say we had all right, 4-4-2. You have your front two, correct?
Yeah.
I would prefer to have a diamond. To be honest with you, I would prefer to have a diamond.
Yeah, in a 4-4-2, I would prefer to have a diamond. Yeah, I agree.
And what I'm emphasizing is, I've been saying that we need to orchestrate our whole offense through verts anyway. But in a 4-4-2 diamond, our right mid and our left mid is Gravenberch and Dom. That's our starting right mid and left mid. Period.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going forward, yeah, I'm sure there are other players that we could probably go out and solidify, but I'm not. But primarily, I mean,
well, you think so? Because now that I actually look on it, I think Grav would still be the base 6, and I think he still play McAllister even in a diamond.
Right. So this is why I say the money that we generate, or the money that we recoup from
City are 2-0 down, by the way.
What's that?
City are 2-0 down, by the way.
Already down 2-0? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. They are. Juventus is up 2-1. Napoli to score. They're up 1-0. Newcastle is losing now to Marseille 2-1. And Dortmund is up 3-0. Chelsea's up 2-0. That's not good. Anyhow, I missed an O in my thing. Let me take this statement out.
Yeah, you was talking about McAllister on.
Yeah. Right. So what I was saying is that if you were to take out that, if you were to take or phase out those wingers, what I'm trying to emphasize is then we bring in a Baleba, then we go for a Wharton. I wouldn't mind bringing in those DMs. I would emphasize bringing in those DMs, because now all of a sudden, yeah, I get Endo. I know people are. I mean, this is Endo's last year, most likely with the club. But if you all of a sudden, I can't put an Endo there, but if you're all of a sudden, I mean, we can. But let's put let's give a shout out to the Irishman. He loves Wharton. If all of a sudden you have a Wharton there, that midfield works. That midfield kicks. All of a sudden you have Baleba there. All of a sudden that midfield is not. You're not worried about that midfield getting passed through, in the sense of you have 3 competent players, being Gravenberch, Baleba, and Dom, as that back line, and having Verts as your facilitator, or having Verts as a player, because you Dom and Grav can both go for runs. I'm just emphasizing if we could just, rather than focus on our offense, we keep bringing all these offensive-minded players. Like we're getting, we're going for Semenyo, or we're going for Elise, or we're going for all these different players. Rather than emphasize that, emphasize our DM and our center half role, because Konate will probably be gone. And all of a sudden, you have the ability to create width by let's put Frimpong in here. I'm going way over with my explanations here, and even Kirkes too. By the way, let's put Kirkes in for a second. If you have Frimpong and Kirkes in, they can provide the width by going forward. They'll provide you that width. Baleba could always track, shade back, and you can have Kirkes go up and Frimpong go up, or whoever, one go up and one stay back type situation. I just think that if we went to a 4-4-2 diamond and we emphasized the recruitment of DMs, and we emphasized the recruitment of a center half to replace Konate, I think we'll be okay. I think we'd be good. I think we'd be really good. I don't know. Yeah, okay. Okay. I got you guys on.
No. It's not that. It's more like I totally see what you mean with Baleba, but my only thing about that is it's like, obviously I'm trying to take what Slot would do under consideration, innit? And like,
yeah, that's Slot. Yeah, I'm not.
Like, I prefer Wharton, but I prefer Wharton, and obviously there was rumors in the summer that we inquired for Wharton, and obviously Palace rebuffed us straight away. But in that I would swap Gravenberch and Wharton, because I can see him using Gravenberch there.
You would rather see Gravenberch as an 8 or 6 than...
Yes, and reason being is because Gravenberch is a progressive midfielder, but more so by his dribbling than his passing. What made him last season was his half turns from the 6, and then running into the spaces, breaking lines. Now, when Gravel's to do that, that's when Wharton should obviously use that as a trigger for him to then drop in. Because then, as much as Wharton drops in, 1, he's filling the space that Grav's just vacated, but 2, he's actually a progressive passer more than a progressive ball carrier. So they actually complement each other, is what I'm saying, between Grav and Wharton in terms of their profiles. Better than I would say a Baleba and a Gravenberch, because I can see what you was asking Baleba to do. I can see Slot asking Gravenberch to do that in this 4-4-2 diamond role.
Napoli up 2-0. Finally decided to turn it on. Juventus up 2-1 over Bodo. Marseille still 2-1. Chelsea 2-0. Dortmund 3-0. And Leverkusen, as previously mentioned. I just think that if we phased it out and we went to this, I think we'd be okay. I think this could be the answer to a lot of our questions. We would never get bullied, or not necessarily bullied, but like outmanned in our midfield. We would be able to provide width by having Kirkes and Frimpong go back to what they originally were good at, which is bombing forward and going down the wings. I think that if you want to keep, and this is like a 4-2-2-2, obviously, but you could have Verts be kind of like that 8/10, and have Dom be able to cover or be able to have the width to go from right or left, depending on where is what's needed. Have Grav and Wharton as the tandem, or excuse me, as the pivot. I think I just think this could be a good team. I think this, or at least it's this direction that I would go with, and that's why I keep hearing people talking about eventually we're going to have an era without Salah. I think eventually, there's if for all those thinking that we're going to be able to replace Salah, we're never going to be able to replace Salah. There's never going to be another Salah, So rather than try to create that, why not create something different with the players and that we have and players that we could emphasize on getting.
I agree. But if there's one thing that I'd be looking at, is we all saw the rumors of Elise for next summer. Obviously, he'd either join us or City. And if I'm Elise right now and I'm seeing them using Mo Salah as a touchline winger and it's not playing to my strengths, I'd be looking on that saying, well, why would I want to go and replace Salah then?
No, I get you.
As much as obviously you want to rise to the challenge, and yes, I can be that guy to take Salah's place, he'll look on what Slot's doing and is like, well, how does that benefit me if you was even doing that to Salah?
Yeah. Agreed.
And the same can be said for the left-hand side as well. Hence why I think the left-hand side needs a totally different profile of winger. The right-hand side, I don't mind getting someone who is in the mode of Salah, who don't really beat their man, go down the wing. I'm fine with getting an inside forward for the left-hand side, for the right-hand side. But then that would mean we definitely need a different profile for that left-hand side.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. Well, the real R2F is asking you, when's your next live stream, KJ?
Oh, I ain't even did my first one yet, so
I'll be honest. Okay. All right.
At the moment, I've literally just did just match reactions. That's pretty much it. But probably after the next loss, let's just be honest. That's probably when the first live will happen. But yeah, we'll see. Let's just hope that we don't have another loss and we can actually turn a corner by actually turning a corner. Because all of the victories we've all had so far, all of us on this panel have said we don't feel like it's been a turning point. Yes, in isolation, it's a good result and we enjoy the wins. However, we still haven't been confident that we're back. We're on the rise again. We can see something sustainable, something tangible. It's always been, yeah, we like this. However, there's still other questions to be asked. And since then, there's been only even more questions to be asked because we haven't won.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, people out there, comment on KJ's page and inspire him to put the pressure on him to track back and get the live get the live streams going. I know JK, I saw that you're on Quasi's show, I think earlier or yesterday or something like that. So do you have anything coming up, JK?
Just the regular people, bro. 12, you, yourself, Irish band, Quasi. Sounds like a rock group.
Chelsea. Jeez. Wow. Oh, Chelsea's killing me.
Yeah, Barca got man sent off. Araujo.
I was hoping
44th minute.
I was hoping Barcelona was going to show up today. I understand now why they were.
Nah, I need Chelsea in good spirits for the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Let them have Barcelona. I don't mind. I need them in good spirits for the weekend.
I got you. Especially for the catch-up show and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see they on some other settings. They feel themselves right now. So
way too much. Way too to the point where we can't even have actual objective ball talk right now because it's just shit. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. Well, that's why we need you. That's why we appreciate and need you on those shows especially. But we appreciate when you do show up and grace us in the house here, and we can have some actual ball talk. We actually have some real no banter, just all about or no real banter. At least we can have some banter, but primarily it's all about really getting into the X's and O's. And definitely, JK's put your channel in the chat. So if you haven't
big up
subscribed,
JK.
definitely
subscribe.
Subscribe for sure. Because we're all
big up
about
Pops as well, man.
Yes, big up
Yeah,
Pops,
bro.
Asian Reds.
Yeah,
in-house.
best of Pops, man. Yeah.
The streets were here earlier,
Yeah,
representing.
I'm just trying to take a leaf out of yours, Pops, JK's, Brian's book, Nilante. Yeah, you guys paved the way for me. Like, I don't forget where I come from, innit? I came from here.
Big up. We get
That's how it all started.
Yes, where it all started, but OGs is what was all about. So that's what we always recognize family. So big up. Always all
We're
about
still here. And I already said anyway, I've got some plans for you guys, man. I got some plans
Yeah,
for you
yeah.
guys. We're gonna have
I can't wait for that,
at least we're gonna
Yeah.
Yeah,
Take
man. I got
on
some
the
plans for you
establishment.
guys.
We're gonna take on the
Yes.
establishment.
Definitely.
It's like Fight Club right here. So that's what it is.
I'm telling you, I can't wait. And I need Pops. I need you and Nilante. Yeah, I got somebody called Beijing Guna. Yeah.
Oh, really?
He
Are you
is.
sure it's not Lee Gooner? Lee?
Nah,
Gooner
it's
Lee
definitely
in
not.
dis-
It's not Guna
in
Lee.
disguise. Okay,
He's
all right, just making sure.
definitely not Guna Lee.
All
But
right,
because he's from the Beijing side as well.
all right,
Beijing.
all right.
Yeah, I need you to put the Osterman in the place.
Yes, definitely.
And not just about this season, by the way, because he's been talking in general about us. Like, I'd understand if he was a United fan, because in general, yes, they can talk in general. But how he was going on, like, they only have one more Premier League than us. They was going on like that was clear. So, yeah, we got some plans anyway, lads. We got some plans.
Barcelona. Wow. All right, my brothers and sisters, we are going to end it here, but we appreciate all the comments that you can give. Go ahead, JK.
I was going to say, Coventry are doing well this season, isn't it, KJ?
Yeah.
That's because you guys got Haji.
Yeah, he's doing all right. Yeah, they're playing Middlesbrough today, second team, and they're just beating them 4-2 away from home. So
good win that
hopefully
is.
they go up. Say it again, KJ.
It's a good win that is.
That's a good win, bro. They beat West Brom Saturday, and they're beating Middlesbrough today 4-2. So after all these years, it's about time they went up. What do you reckon of that Birmingham City's new stadium, the design? Did you see it, you guys?
Yeah. The question I had is, where the hell are they going to build that?
Small Heath, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, I get in Small Heath, but Small Heath's more cramped than anywhere else.
Small Heath is small.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's genuinely no space to build that stadium. Like, they're going to have to knock down at least 3-4 estates to build that. Gonna be a lot of redevelopment over there.
I think they're gonna do a lot of shops and stuff like that. But I think there's some land there. I can't remember the name. That's sort of empty now. But I don't think they would do that video that they had. Peaky Blinders, the brother, in the video. They had what's his name in America doing. So they did a proper promotion video for the stadium. So I don't think they'll go on unless they've done their homework to go ahead with it. But they're doing okay, Birmingham, this season. I think they're climbing the table.
Yeah, they are. I think, well, there was 11th the other day, but there was only, the table was tight still. So I think there was only like 4 points off playoffs, even though there was 11th. Like, it's crazy. It's, the whole footballing league, well, English league this season is mad, to be fair. Like, the tables are so close. There's barely any points basically splitting top from the mid-table. Because you think about it, we're 12th, but we're only 5 points off second.
Oh, yeah. You mean in the Premier League?
Yeah, that's a 2-game swing.
Yeah. We might be out of the running for the league title, but we're not out of the running for a top 4.
I still want second, to be honest.
I'm not trying to. I don't want to ever. I hate when I made fun of Manchester United when they were talking about top 6. Like I heard one of their guys on a broadcast being like, "We're a top 6 club." I'm looking for top 6. I'm like, top 6? What, is that a thing? You think Conference League? Is that what you shoot for now at United? But being that they beat us and being that they're ahead of us in the table right now, I guess there's very little we could say to them exactly right now with a lot of chess. But I think at the end of the day, we'll end up surpassing them on the table. And I also think top 4 is definitely a possibility. Let me see if I can add. I was about to pull up the table. We're going to be out. We're way over time, but let me bring this up real quick. Bring it up real quick. Hold on. Bring up one of my things. Hold on a second. Chat. I am not very versatile when it comes to X. There was something I posted, and I wanted to show what I posted. Because we're not off that far off a second. I think there's. Let me see if I bookmarked it. It's not that. It's really not that. It's been 4 other teams that have won the title.
Yeah. And the thing is, on top of the fact that we're only 5 points off second, there's that tiny little bit of copium where Arsenal always start off the first third of the season well. Right. They somewhat get through the middle third, and then they have some form of a fall off in the third part of the season. So far, does that look like it's going to happen this year? No. However, stranger things have happened. At the same time, not last season, the year before last, City had 5 draws, 6 losses, and won the Premier League.
Yep.
It's
I'm not saying impossible.
Yes, it's not impossible. It's not impossible.
People are already writing off the season. I understand Arsenal look good and everything else, but yeah. Manchester City were in 2013, 2014 were 6 points behind. They won the league that year. Arsenal did it in 2001, 2002. They were 6 points behind. Manchester United won in 1992, 93 when they were 6 points behind. They also did it in 96, 97, and also in 2002, 2003 when they were 8 points behind. So
it's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
And this is why I need Chelsea to put pressure, because that's all I need. I don't expect Arsenal to get many losses this year. And that's fine, because I don't need them to get losses. I just need them to drop points. We all know all too well. We've lost the league because of too many draws, not losses. So if we could, Arsenal crack under pressure. That's the thing about them. It's the pressure that gets to them. If we can just, not just us, but if teams can just give them a sustained amount of pressure where, let's just say, they have to go on a run where every game they play, especially coming up to this part of the season now, where games are coming thick and fast. If we can sustain an accumulative amount of pressure on Arsenal, they'll crack. And all we need to do is make sure we're that team to pick up the pieces. Because right now, it's Chelsea or City that will pick up the pieces if Arsenal was to collapse.
But the game is of 2 halves. The season is also a game of 2 halves, you know what I mean? But the thing is, bro, I've not seen us take initiative enough this season to believe in that. I feel, look, bro, we've lost 6 games out of 7 in the Premier League, bro. That's a lot of games.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of games.
And you know what? I always think,
I
was going to say just that I always think the next game is the game where we start getting it in the right direction. I thought the Villa game and then the Madrid game was the 2 games that we're going to think, you know what, let's smash it now. Then we go and lose to Man City. Then we go and lose to Forest. God knows, man. Hopefully, look, if we win tomorrow, good. Then we got West Ham. So it's a game at a time, isn't it?
Yeah, that's how I've been since what loss was it? I think since the United loss, I've just been on one game at a time now. Just one game at a time.
Exactly.
Genuinely. Hence why when we got to Villa and we actually reverted the system back to kind of what we was doing last season, I said I was happy about the win, but I said I weren't convinced. I need to see more. Then we won against Madrid. I said I need to see more. Still wasn't convinced. Then we started the same lineup against City. I said, oh my gosh, we might actually be back. But we the system and the tactics were totally different to what we did the 2 games before. I says, yeah, this is why I wasn't convinced.
Yeah. I wanted to see.
City,
I just
City
want to
ain't
see.
doing it.
City. I don't know.
If they beat Newcastle,
the
then
last thing you want to do is
right off City.
Write off City. I would never write off.
I think if
City.
they beat Newcastle, I would have took them really serious. I think if they beat Newcastle at the weekend just gone, they lost again today. I see you're as dodgy as this.
Yeah.
Like us, bro. Yeah,
but
can't rely on no one, man.
We just need to rely on City and Chelsea's slipstream. That's it. We just need to rely on their slipstream, and then when it gets to the running, and then use that to catapult forward.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all we need to do.
Shake and bake.
You think about it, yeah. Last season as well. Last season we said until the gap was at 14 points, because that was, I think, our biggest points gap we had last season. Up until then, we still said like, nah, it's not done yet. It's not done yet. And I get we have PTSD naturally, but we knew it wasn't done yet at the same time. Whereas I've said this year, until I see a 14-point gap, Arsenal are catchable. It's not easy. It won't be easy. No. But we saw Sunderland came and took points off them.
Yeah.
And they made it 2-1. They made it 2-1. They could have saw out the game. They didn't.
We beat them as well, bro. As well.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Everyone says how shit we've been.
Yeah.
With a clean sheet as well.
We beat Real Madrid. You know, it's weird this season. Weird. How can we beat Arsenal and Real Madrid, clean sheets in both games, and then end up losing to Brentford and bloody Forest? It just don't make sense to me anymore.
It's the same reason why we lose to Galatasaray and then USG go into Galatasaray today and win. I don't know, man. It's
bro, it don't make sense. We beat Atletico Madrid as well this season.
USG smoked Gala. No.
They won 1-0. They won 1-0.
Yeah, they did, bro. That's McAllister's brother,
Big up Kevin, man. Big up Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin. Alone. Home Alone in German is Kevin allein zu Hause. Means Kevin alone at home. It's weird, but yeah.
All right. Well, before we go too far over, big up to KJ, big up to JK, big up to everyone that joined us today. Had a good number of people in here, and everyone, the chat was on point tonight, and you guys rocked with us from start to finish. So I really do appreciate that. Some good games that are just that are concluding here. Some really good games. So please do enjoy. Juventus 3-2 right now. Dortmund 3-0. Chelsea 3-0. That Leverkusen game is a final at 2-0. Napoli 2-0. Marseille 2-1, and still 0-0 in the Atletico Club Bilbao. Bilbao is just they're a struggle this year. But all right, people. All right. We're gonna be out. I'll give you a little bit of something for some serenity, maybe some feel-good moments, or just to say Usa, namaste, whatever you guys say. All right. So here it is.